need to know what they want to get out of it. But we have this like stupid masculine pride that makes us want to go around and always tell people how things should be or what our opinion is or what our ideal solution is. At the end of the day, that's actually causing us to have less power. And it's just kind of annoying if we're being honest, right? No one likes that guy. So what I try and do now is identify what's important to other people. Maybe Julia comes to me and she's, complaining about something. Instead of trying to offer a solution, I try and see, why is she actually telling me this? Or maybe I have an employee who's doing well and I want to give them a raise because I think that'll make them happy. But at the end of the day, they don't really care as much about making more money. They just want to have like the freedom to take this trip next month. I don't need to go around just offering random solutions. I can just say, hey, Julia, it seems like you're upset about this. What can I do to help? Or I'm talking to my employee and I think they're like hinting that they want to raise. Well, maybe I say, you've been doing a great job lately. What would be important to you? The point is, when I'm talking to anyone, ideally, I'm talking like 20% of the time. They're talking 80% of the time. That way I can really understand them and then base my next actions on all this new information I'm getting. Law number 4, win through your actions, never through arguing.
Lips and her ass sticking out, I have to scratch my head and ask myself, what the fuck are any of these guys doing? But then I remember just how few options men have, which leads me to believe one thing, okay? The world as we see it, the world in general, right now the world, okay, how men operate, how women see men, the world is very, very, very uncomfortable. At the root of male nature, when you get right down into it, the world is very, very uncomfortable when you look it dead in the eyes and you realize just how much control men want. I'm going to let that sink in. Just how much control men want. Every man wants control.
Get a bunch of things done for you and they're kind of being lazy or putting it off. You can say, hey, it's up to you. Do you want to do that call with the ad agency today or do you want to write out that email sequence today? What makes more sense for you? Either way, they have to get started doing something today, but they feel like they have the choice and they're going to be more motivated and more likely to do it. Law number 2, never appear too perfect. It is smart to occasionally display defects and admit to harmless vices in order to deflect envy and appear more human and approachable. So another basic part of human nature is we don't really like when someone else is doing better than us because it reflects badly on us. This is why people hate on famous, successful people all the time. You look up any like Instagram post ESPN does of LeBron James and it's full of comments just viciously hating on LeBron. Or I've even seen it that as I've leveled up my life over the 6 years I've been doing YouTube and I've made more money and I've gotten a girlfriend and my whole lifestyle's leveled up, I've gotten more and more hate comments. Or maybe you were the first one in your friend group who started hitting the gym or trying to talk to girls and it feels like your friends are trying to hold you back.
Why are you doing that, bro? That's kind of weird. You don't gotta try so hard.
The point is, when we see someone else rising above us, it makes us very aware that that person is taking action and doing things that we wish we could do, but for some reason we haven't been able to do that. And that doesn't feel good. So the way you implement this is while you're working your ass off to level up your life, you're also owning your weaknesses when you're talking to other people. So when you're talking to your friends, rather than bragging about your wins, oh, I slept with this girl last night. Oh, I just got my YouTube channel started. Instead, tell them about the weaknesses. Tell them about that girl that rejected you, that embarrassing moment, because now it's relatable. They're going to be on your side and they're going to be cheering for you to win. In my YouTube videos, you guys know I try and do the same thing. I try and tell stories of times in the past where I was like brutally rejected or lost a bunch of money or did some stupid shit. And part of that is just because they're good like teaching moments where I learned really important lessons, but also I'm trying to own my weaknesses. I'm not perfect. I'm just another dude on this journey. Law number 3, always say less than necessary. Say little and be ambiguous, leaving the meaning to others to interpret. The less you say, the more intimidating and powerful you are. So I'm someone who's extremely introverted. Growing up, I was very shy, not that socially confident. But then at one point I realized, wait, I can kind of manipulate this into being a bit of a superpower. Because here's the thing, I already know in my head like what I know and what I believe and what I want. So if I talk about all these things, that doesn't really accomplish anything. Instead, it's a lot better to try and have everyone around me opening up about what they believe and what they want. That's new information. Because at the end of the day, what is power? Power is being able to control the outcome of different situations, right? And in order for me to control the outcome of a situation that involves other people, I kind of need to know what their motivation is.
Lay with to take the stress off of life. Not only that, they want somebody to potentially build a future with that will give some sort of emotional stability. Not emotional stability, financial stability. This shit is very much for them. When they get into a relationship and commit to a specific guy, it is for them, which is why for you to completely close off your options, okay, for some promiscuous chick online, okay, who oftentimes parades around and acts like a bimbo, Okay? When every selfie as blah, 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 whatever the fuck anybody wants to put you in when it comes to a category or a box, you will notice that the reverse for you is not true. You will start to have less options. You will have women who do not like you. You will have women who band together and will purposefully tell one another not to talk to you. This is completely opposite when it comes to the way that men act despite women's bad behavior. So let this sink in, because this line right here, okay? Just let this sink in. Men support women and women support women. So if you ask yourself, if women are supporting women, if the conversations is consistently, you go girl, you don't need him, you're a boss, you're the best, you're a 10, you're a dime, you can replace his dumb ass, that broke motherfucker don't deserve a high value queen like you, you can slay, go shake that ass, right? You're so hot, oh girl, you're fucking hot. Right? Women support women, they have no issues with it. Men support women. Oh my God, can I get a date? Oh God, you're so sexy. Can I take you out? Okay, men support women. Women support women. Nobody is supporting men. Men do. And what I mean by that is I'm not expecting a woman to support a man in any way, shape, or form. If you're a grown ass. Here's the thing that not a lot of people on the internet tell you. The one man, okay, that wins over a woman's heart, okay, the guy that she is constantly craving day after day, okay, or the one that got away, or the guy who she's sizing up on social media, or the guy who she's wondering if this is a bigger, better option than her current boyfriend, okay, the one man who typically will make the biggest, not only imprint on a woman, but psychological impact to the point that she's comparing how this man behaves, will fizzle out typically like usual. Maybe he will start to go soft or love her, okay, or regardless, as he starts to go a little bit weaker and softer, she loses respect for him, therefore she'll leave. That's a first option. The second option is he will have multiple women and she can't take it, therefore will cause turmoil, okay, or it will dissolve. Or 3, he'll typically leave her. Okay, those are the 3 things that happen. Okay, this guy, okay, is still in her phone. This guy is still following her and she's following him on social media. Okay, now when you multiply all of the levers that you look for, and all of the levers would be all of the inputs and outputs, availability for messages. I'm talking Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, Snapchat, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, okay, and then Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram. You would be amazed how many women will actually hide their messages too in different apps in different areas. And the other guy, who's either potentially sleeping with her or has slept with her in the past, knows where to contact her. And will you say, hey, come hell or high water, no matter what the fuck happens, we're going to have each other's back. You're going to have my back. I'm going to have your back. We're going to elevate each other up so that way we become bulletproof. We become strong. The amount of fear woven into most men. I mean, look at how the average man is just in so much fear, okay? The fear of finances and going broke, the fear of not being enough in the eyes of a woman, the fear of not being able to provide or to protect for a family, the fear that when you look at how money is, how that inflation or markets will crash and you'll be starving, fear that you're not good enough to talk to them. A big thing that they love is imagery and imagination. When I say imagery and imagination, when they see a guy on social media, okay, maybe there's something about him, and I don't care what the avatar or what the archetype is. I don't care if he's the rock star, the rapper, the bodybuilder, the playboy, the fucking cowboy, whatever it is, there's some masculine archetype that he has. The billionaire, the guy on the jet, doesn't matter. Even the guy in the robe with a light stick by. I'm just kidding. Fuck all you. What she's going to be doing is she's going to use imagery and she's going to use imagination to think what he might be like. Okay, that one bit of imagery and imagination of painting a picture in a woman's brain that can create some sort of artificial desire without her even meeting you is one of the strongest levers to attraction, because it creates the what if factor. Okay, those of you who've seen other videos with me where I talk about the what if factor with women, it's extremely powerful. They start to imagine what he might be like, how he might sound. Okay, what they'll even do is they'll even imagine if they were in bed.
Choice. Your victims feel they are in control but are actually your puppets. I think it's pretty basic knowledge that everyone wants to feel like they're in control of their life and nobody wants to feel like someone else is taking advantage of them, right? And at the same time, people like having different choices. It's like back when we were kids and we were taking a test, like I preferred to have a multiple choice test because that would be easier than if I had to like write the answer from scratch. And the whole point here is you can manipulate these basic parts of human nature by, it's going to be an ideal outcome for you because you made the choices. Now, a common way this comes into play in modern life is if you're trying to schedule a date with a girl, because sometimes it can feel a bit like intimidating or you're not sure how to do it. Maybe you want to try and be really authoritative, like,
Hey, meet me at this location on this day.
but then maybe like she's not free that day, or maybe it seems insecure, like you're trying to overcompensate and be this manly man. So at first just say, do you want to hang out sometime later this week? And once she says yeah or sure, now is where you give her the illusion of choice and you pick 2 nights that will work for you. And then you ask her, okay, cool, does Tuesday or Wednesday night work for you? And this does 2 things. First of all, it makes her feel like she's, playing a role and she's able to have some control over when the date's gonna be. And second, there's actually a much higher probability that one of those days is gonna work for her. Or maybe you're in your professional life